Test, test, test. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Let me know how we sound. Let me know how we sounding. About to send this link out, y'all. Then we're gonna go ahead and get started. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Yeah, somebody put a little crying face. It's all good, though. I'll see some of y'all's reactions. So we better break some of this stuff down, y'all. Just give me 1 second. Let me get closer to the mic, y'all. Let me see how we sound. Do we sound a little bit better? Test, 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 test. So again, the charts did not do anything. Now, there was some action like at 5 o'clock. I ain't gonna lie, there was some action at 5 o'clock, but we didn't really miss anything. So it's kind of just like how last week was, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. There was just no action. So I was like, there's no point in being on the charts. Because yesterday it wasn't too much action either. Like, we caught a small move yesterday, but for the most part, the charts just kind of ranged. So we're looking to see if there's going to be some action today. Make sure to like the live, y'all hop up in here, y'all, and subscribe if you ain't subscribed already. Let me know how the audio sounded, y'all. Let me know how the audio sounded. I'm not at the desk today. We're just on the laptop chilling. You know, it really is about to be a new year, though. Because I finally got a new mouse, y'all. The jank mouse. I ain't throw it away yet, but I'm probably gonna throw that shit away today. But we finally got a good mouse. A brand new mouse. No longer using the same broke one for the past 3 years. Finally got a new mouse, y'all. I was in a one-on-one session yesterday, and that shit kept on glitching on me. I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get a new one. So we got a few setups we're looking at right here, y'all. We're about to break it down in a second. So, like I said yesterday, we took a gold buy live. We hit a few TPs. Obviously, I updated my levels. These aren't the same levels as yesterday. We hit a few TPs, and then when the 830 news popped off yesterday, I re-entered, like y'all saw in my story, and then it hit a few more TPs. And then today, we was looking for this buy setup. As you can see, it did not do this retest right here until 5 o'clock. So we would have been on the charts looking for nothing, right? So, you know, my cutoff mark when there's news is usually at 6 a.m. So literally right before 6 a.m. price ended up doing that move. It is what it is, right? But besides gold, nothing really did anything, right? NAS is still kind of in no man's land. Right, NAS is still kind of in no man's land, hasn't done anything for the day. And then GU finally broke a level we're looking for, so it's just now doing this retest, right? Because if y'all was in the live yesterday, remember I was saying we're looking for either sells here or buys here. And we go to price yesterday. This was London session, New York session, when market reopened last night. So I literally just played pinball all day yesterday. Now, as far as right now, we're going to be looking for possible buys on GU, right? If we cannot maintain 3,700 as support, we couldn't see the bearish momentum come back into play. But if we can hold 3,700 as support, we can look for buys going to 3,725, possibly to 3,745, all right? If we fail to hold that as support, and we push back down to 36.45, we're going to be looking for sales. All right, we do have news today. Like I said, we're going to be going live with the members during 8:30 news today. So in a couple hours, we're going to be going live. So members, make sure to be on the lookout for that. And of course, if you want to go live with us, you know what to do. Click those links in the description and become a playmaker. So our goal, we're going to be looking for buys too. So again, we went for buys last week on Tuesday. We went for buys yesterday on Tuesday. And we can see here, when we go to a naked chart, and now we're starting to see higher highs get made, right? So that's why we was looking for buys yesterday, because we were trying to see if we could break past and see that higher high get made. But obviously it's not getting made till today. We're going to be looking for continued buys on gold as well, right? So gold can maintain 50.88 or even break above and hold 51.12 as support. We're going to be looking for buys going to 51.48. Again, this did not do a setup until an hour ago. So even if we was live, we would have not been able to catch that setup. But this is also why I always talk about do not break out trade. Do not break out trade. Do not break out trade. Wait for the break and retest, right? Wait for the break and retest. So we still got a few setups we're going to be looking at. I'm not going to be looking at GJ today, y'all, because GJ is still kind of in reversal territory. NAS, we're kind of in reversal territory as well. If we're going to a naked chart. Let me know how the audio sounds, y'all. I'm about to cut to the channel a little bit. Make sure to like the live. You'll hop up in here, subscribe already. I saw a couple sad faces when I said I wasn't going to go live. Again, y'all, I'm trying to do things differently this year. I'm trying to make everything as productive as possible. And, you know, I want y'all to watch the lives. So if I want more people to watch the lives, you know, I don't want it to be boring as hell or just watching paint dry. You see what I'm saying? And again, the markets did not do shit at all. When we would have been live, the only one that did something was an hour ago, and that was gold. But besides that, everything else has just been ranging in place. Right, so NAS, we're still technically bearish on NAS as well, y'all. So that's why you see on my marked up charts, I have alert above and below, because again, depending on what price does today and this week, we're either going to see the downtrend continue, or we're going to see a reversal take place today and possibly see the uptrend come into play. Now, as promised, I did drop that video. I was talking about the live stream yesterday, so if y'all was on the live yesterday, you don't know what I'm talking about, but I did drop that video yesterday. What's going on, ACAST up in here? What's going on, JD? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So again, we're not going to be taking trades today, but I still want to give y'all the game plan going into New York session, because I still want to go live every day on YouTube, even if, you know, we don't take any setups. But again, I don't want it to just be boring as hell, because there were some days when I knew I was going to take a setup London session, but I was like, look, I said I go live London session every day, so I still went live. But you know, now I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic, because if I wasn't streaming, I would have did exactly what I did today, which was I would have just slept until New York session. You see what I'm saying? So again, depending on what happens with the news today is going to kind of determine if there's action in today's news event, right? There was a little bit of volume in yesterday's news. We're going to see there's some action in today's news. But again, the past couple of weeks, the news events have been kind of anticlimactic. You know what I'm saying? Kind of anticlimactic. But you already know the drill. If y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop in the chat. But yeah, so what I'm personally going to be doing today is I'm going to be going live with the members at 8:30. We're going to break some stuff down, answer some questions. Then after the 8:30 news, I'm going to wait for a 9 o'clock, 9:30, see what the market's looking like, and then possibly take a setup there. That is going to be the game plan for today. Again, if you do not understand how to trade news, I do got a playlist on YouTube titled How to Trade News, as well as, like I said, we go live every day with the members and students, breaking down exactly how news days work and all that good stuff. Make sure to like the live, you hop up in here and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We're almost at 4,000. Where are we at right now? Let me pull out my phone. I don't want to make nothing up. Let me see where we at right now. We're almost at 4,700 subscribers, y'all. We can get to that easily. We can get to that today. Got a new video dropping for y'all today as well. Make sure to be on the lookout for that. I told you I got a lot of videos lined up for y'all this week. And we do got a lot of videos lined up this week. That is a fact. That is a fact. So let me put this back on the marked up chart. So again, that's why I'm gonna have my charts marked up. We go to my actual market of charts. That's why you see I have an alert down here and an alert up here, because actually I could put the alert down here, to be honest. All right, because depending on how price reacts to these levels, either going to determine if the uptrend is going to continue or come into play, I should say, or if the downtrend is going to continue to come into play. We could look for a sell here too, to be honest. So I might just put my alert right here. But again, I'm not going to take a setup here. I don't like to take trades right before news. I like to take trades either before news or after news. Now, if I'm in a trade and news is coming up, I have no issue holding a trade in news if it meets my trading plans, if it makes sense, because we do that all the time as well. What's going on, Emmanuel? What's going on? What's going on? News is at 8:30, correct. Like I said, I just started doing, I didn't do this last year. I did some news stuff, right? I did this last week as well on the news day. But again, when I hopped on the charts, because you can see it was 247, so I hopped on the charts to do my pre-market analysis, and I saw, based on the market condition, I was like, yeah, there's not going to be a setup today as far as London session is concerned. That's why I said we're just going to go live right before news, tell y'all the game plan so we can still go live a little bit for the day before TikTok, because we will be live on TikTok today as well. All right, around 2 o'clock. And again, when we look at the charts, right, this wasn't an A+ setup, but this was Tokyo session anyways. We go to London session. Price did not do a retest. Price did not do a retest. So there was no setup to take on NAS. GU, again, just like yesterday, I said we're either looking for buys here or sells here. We go to the live stream from yesterday, which was right here, London session. You can see our price played here all London session, all New York session. Then when market reopened last night, it failed to hold as resistance, then flips back up to here. So there's literally no setup to take. As you can see, London session started right here. There was no setup to take here. Only chart that did do a move was literally an hour ago, and that was gold. But again, we go to London session, same thing, right? Price failed to hold as support, rejected. 4:30, broke above, 5 o'clock, did the retest. So literally the only chart that did something was an hour ago, and that was gold. But all the other charts we're looking at didn't do shit. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I didn't go in the charts. But gold is going as projected. So if y'all was in yesterday's live, you know we went for gold buys. We caught a nice 1-to-1. I forgot to post a recap yesterday. But we caught a nice 1-to-1 from the gold buy setup we took on the live stream. Then we got rejected right before the news, because we had 8:30 news yesterday as well. As y'all can see right here, we had 8:30 news yesterday as well. And you can see on the 8:30 candlestick, price ended up doing the move we was looking for, right? But you can also see here that price failed to hold that support, failed to hold that support, failed to hold support. This is the buy setup for Monday. And it wasn't until again today that price, as you can see, the volume picked up. So this is why I always say go with the flow of price, because once that volume kicked in, again, which direction did it go? Went to the upside, right? So going into New York session, we're going to be looking for continued buys on gold. But we can also see what? Why did we go for buys yesterday? Why were we looking for buys today? Why did we go for buys last week on gold? The same reason why we see price making higher highs and higher lows. Again, you always want to go with the flow of price. This is why we talk about in the TikTok lives. This is why we talk about in the trade breakdowns, right? And when you hit that first in the description, join the free student free Telegram. We talked about this in the Sunday chart analysis as well. So even though it is Wednesday, if you have not watched the Sunday chart analysis, like I always tell y'all, the Sunday chart analysis, give me 1 second, goes over not just what we see price doing Sunday night going into Monday, but what we see price doing throughout the entire week. So if y'all not watched this yet, make sure to watch this. All right, y'all. But yeah, this thing literally just did the move. Which happens, you know, you're gonna miss setups, but it's all good. We wouldn't have caught this if we was live anyway, so. So now we got NAS doing something. All right, so again, we're going to see if NAS can maintain as low as resistance. If we can maintain 25,180 as resistance, we can look for sales going back down to 25,100 and possibly down to 2530. All right, so I'm not going to take a sell setup here right now. That is, I'm gonna wait till after the news, and then we can catch we can look for a setup right here. Make sure to like the live, y'all. Hop up in here, y'all. Subscribe if you ain't subscribed already. You see on your screen how we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that link and check it out for yourselves. And again, this is why we mark off these levels. Look at how price reacted when it came to this level, turned into support. And this is what we was talking about during the TikTok live as well, because people was talking about like, you know, break and retest or support resistance, all that good stuff. Again, you see how price broke this level but failed to hold, broke this level but failed to hold, broke this level but failed to hold, broke but failed to hold, broke but failed to hold. Then we see here price broke, retested, turned from resistance to support, shot to the upside. Look how the volume exploded. Then you see here how price broke, retested, held a support, and look how the volume pushed in and shot to the upside. This is why I always say go for buys on support, sells off resistance, buys in the uptrend, sells in the downtrend, because when that volume kicks in, again, which direction is it going to most likely go? In your favoring direction, right? As long as you're not counter trend trading. All right, then look at this retest right here. Again, look how price reacted as soon as it hit this level. This is exactly why we enter and exit off these levels. This is exactly why we mark off these levels. But yeah, we're gonna be on for a little bit, y'all. If y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. Want me to look at any charts, drop in the chat. Y'all already know the drill, y'all. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well. Y'all see it scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Instagram, Playmaker_Way, TikTok _Playmaker_Way_. Post daily on both pages. You said so far you're down $4 because gold spiked to around 4. So what was you going for? Was you going for sells or buys? You said around 4. So was you going for sells? Let me know if that's correct. Was you going for sells at 4 o'clock? Let me know. Let me know. If y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. When you're looking at your charts, drop in the chat. But was you going for sells? What happened? SPX versus NAS. Okay, so SPX versus NAS. So what you have to understand about SPX, US30, NAS100, YM, they are what is called correlating pairs, all right? Now, on the smaller time frame, a lot of the time they'll move similar, but on the bigger time frame, that's when the market structure sometimes is different. You see what I'm saying? Now, I've been traded the S&P in a couple years. As y'all can see, I haven't touched this shit since maybe 2024, if we're being real. Let me see. I can't even find any buy setups. Yeah, it's 2025. So I haven't touched this shit in a minute. I can't even find any trade ideas. Well, okay, yep, 2024. Yep, we haven't traded this shit since 2024. And you can see we stopped trading it when the Chop City was taking place, right? At the beginning of 2025. So, let's go ahead and just go into naked chart really quick because I don't feel like deleting all this. So we're just gonna go into another chart really quick. Let's do this one. All right, so when we look at the market structure here, this is looking very similar to how NAS100 was looking a month ago, right? We go to the NAS100. Let's go to a naked chart really quick. Right, so the S&P 500 is looking like this, which is what NAS100 was looking like a couple months ago, right? So the difference between the three is one, the prices, right? The S&P is the cheapest out of the three, right? It's only worth 7,000 right now. NAS100 25 bands. YM just made all-time highs again, so I don't even know what YM's at right now. Let's find out. And that's also why I haven't traded YM, right? Because again, if you look at the past, you'll see a lot of times I'll go from US30 to NQ, US30 to NQ, US30 to NQ, and a lot of times people will be like, you know, why aren't you trading US30 today? Or why are you trading NAS100 this time? And it's because of market structure, right? So you can see at the end of January, it was taking US30 YM buys, right? It was taking US30 YM buys at the end of January. But then you can see the past couple of weeks, we've been trading NAS100 NQ. So why did we switch from US30 YM when we was catching these crazy huge setups on it, right? So why did we stop trading US30 YM and start trading NQ? That's because, again, we look at YM, we made all-time highs. So you don't want to trade when we're at all-time highs. You see what I'm saying? So you can see the market structure is different on all three. Now, this is the few times it's ever like this. If y'all was trading like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the market structure 80% of the time was always the exact same on the bigger and smaller time frames. But nowadays, it's usually sometimes just similar on the smaller time frames, right? So this is what NAS100 looks like. This is what the S&P looks like, right? So we look at NAS100 and then Q, they look very similar on the smaller time frames. But the bigger time frames, the market structure is completely different. That's why I always tell y'all you have to identify the cycle in the bigger time frame. Because if you go into the smaller time frame, you're going to throw yourself off. Because we look at YM, we look at US30, we look at the S&P 500. On the 15-minute time frame, I'm giving y'all some serious game right now. On the 15-minute time frame, they look so similar, right? But again, when we go into the bigger time frame, we see completely different market structure, completely different market conditions. You see what I'm saying? So you always need to identify the trend on the bigger time frame. Do not just be like, oh, okay, US30 is going up, so I'm gonna enter buys on NAS or buys on S&P 500, because you will get fucked up. Because again, look at what US30 is doing. Look at what the NASDAQ's doing, right? When the US30 made all-time highs, we took NAS sales. Again, when US30 last week made all-time highs, which was on Friday, what did the NASDAQ do on Friday? It did not make all-time highs, right? When we look at the day prior to this push, what was the NASDAQ doing all last week? Making lower highs and lower lows. Was the US30 doing that? No, it was not. You see what I'm saying? So you see completely different market structure, but when you go into the smaller time frames, things look similar. This is another cause of fake out liquidity grabs as well, because again, you cannot just look at one time frame. I had a question in the live on TikTok yesterday. What's the best time frame? There is no best time frame. You have to use multiple time frames. You have to. You have to. Again, there is no shortcuts when it comes to trading. You have to just stick to the steps. And again, the steps aren't hard. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot less steps in my system than most people's system. You know what I'm saying? But the beautiful thing about trading is once you get the stuff down, you're doing the same shit every single day. It's literally rinse and repeat every single day. Every single day you're doing the same exact thing. All right, so let me know if that makes sense. But let me see in the chat. Let me know what you was talking about with gold. I'm assuming you went for gold sells. And if you went for gold sells, that is the wrong move to go for. Again, you do not want to chase price. You want to follow the flow of price. All right. Let me see what we're talking about. Is US, NAS, NQ the same thing? No, US30, the NASDAQ, aka the NAS100, and the S&P 500 are three completely different things. They're similar, but they're three completely different things. You was going for a buy, but I got stopped out. I was using a strategy, but some SO too low. Okay, what was your entry? What was your SO? Let's talk about it. What was your entry? What was your SO? Let's talk about it. I'm glad you went for buys. All right, you had me worried a little bit. At least you went for buys, so let's talk about it. But this is why you always see, I mean, it might look small to some of y'all, but my stop losses are pretty big. You see what I'm saying? Like, my stop losses are pretty big. Like, I remember when I first started, calling signals and stuff, people used to hit me up like, why are your stop losses so big? I'm like, it's the same reason why we're winning trades, because we're not getting wicked out 3 times before the move takes place, right? Again, when you see these videos online, when they have these super tight stop losses, that's how they get the 1 to 10 RRs, because people believe the smaller your stop loss, the less you're risking, which is not, that makes 0 sense. Your lot size depends on how much you're risking per trade. Your smaller stop, like, you need to understand how to count pips, how to count points. Like, there's this big ass YouTuber that people be riding his meat, and he was talking about Forex. I'm like, I don't know why people trade Forex when you can make more money trading futures. How the hell you got hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers, but you're still saying dumb shit like that? You can make the same amount trading Forex that you can trade futures. All you have to do is adjust your lot size or your contracts. That makes 0 fucking sense, right? So a lot of people be doing these super tight stop losses because they think, oh, less pips, less points means I'm risking less. But if you put a tight stop loss, that means your stop loss is gonna get wicked out a bunch of times. So when you see all these people that be talking about top ticking, bottom ticking this, I guarantee if they show their trade history, which they don't, they might show when they get a payout, they might show when they finally win a trade. But if they show their trade history, I promise you, they are re-entering these trades 3 to 4 times. I promise you. So if I'm re-entering a trade 3 to 4 times and I'm losing 5 out of 6 trades, of course I'm gonna need a high RR. But if you have a high win rate strategy and a high RR strategy, you don't need a super tight stop loss, right? Your stop loss needs to be strategically placed where if price was to break past that point, you was wrong. Not, I'm gonna put it here because I want to risk less. No, your stop loss needs to be placed for a reason. Just like my entry, my TPs are placed for a reason. That's also why we rarely get, quote unquote stop loss hunted. Like, you never hear me talk about stop loss hunts. You never hear me talk about getting wicked out and all this other shit, right? So gold just hit the next zone. So from this point, we're either going to look for price to retest 50.88, or if we could break above, maintain 51.12 as support, we could look for continued buys going to, I got to fix this level, but like 51.40. I do not know what happened to that level there. I'm going to have to fix that. Right, like I can show y'all examples of trades we took where we barely missed getting wicked out, and it's because again I give my stop loss wiggle room. Like if we look at this trade right here, again I'm not at my desk, so I can't pull out the signal. But if we go to this trade right here, which was last week Wednesday the 4th, right? So let's take a trip down memory lane really quick. Okay, Wednesday the 4th. So we go to the GU signal. You can see by SL is 36.95, entry 36.85. This right here is 36.95. So you see how we barely missed getting wicked out. And the reason for that is because I didn't do a super tight stop loss. So I gave myself some wiggle room to handle drawdown, because you have to understand drawdowns are part of the game. Just because you enter buy does not mean price is going to go immediately up. Just because you enter sell does not mean price is going to go immediately down. Retests happen, retracements happen, reversals happen, right? Just like this GJ setup. We took this GJ setup live for free last week on Tuesday, right? Tuesday. So you watched Tuesday, February 3rd's live stream. We took this trade live, right? We took a gold buy and a GJ buy. Again, we go to GJ. SL 212.85. All right, boom. Let me change the color before I throw myself off. We go to coordinates, 212.85. So again, look at how when we enter this trade, and my stop loss barely got missed both times. But if I would have did what everybody else does, which is put their stop loss here, look how my RR magically jumps to 1-20, right? But what would have happened if I had my stop loss right here? I would have got wicked out so many times. And this is when you see people post online, oh my God, the market's just manipulated me. I just got stopped out 5 times, then it did my move, man. The manipulation, the buyers, the bear traps. No, it's because you put a tight ass stop loss. You gotta give your stop loss wiggle room. You gotta give your stop loss wiggle room. You see what I'm saying? But let me see what you're talking about in the chat, y'all. Again, if you have any questions, drop in the chat. Look right here. Again, if I would have put a super tight stop loss, I would have got wicked out and I would have missed the drop to the downside, right? So again, you need to give yourself some wiggle room in these setups. You got to give yourself some wiggle room in these setups. Let me try to find another example. That's not a good one. Let me try to find another one. But I think y'all get the gist, right? I think y'all get the gist. Look at this. If I would have had a tight ass stop loss on this trade, this would have been the fake out liquidity grab right here. But why did my liquidity not get grabbed, right? That's just a few points down. Why did price say, you know what? I'm not going to take away his liquidity, right? Why did my liquidity not get grabbed? Because again, I give myself wiggle room to handle drawdown and retracements in the trades I take. You see what I'm saying? You got to give yourself wiggle room. Got to give yourself wiggle room. There's another setup. Look, this is when people talk about the fake out liquidity grabs. So again, why did price not wake me out? Because I gave the trade wiggle room. You gotta give the market space to breathe. You see what I'm saying? And I could scroll and find examples all day, but y'all can do the same exact thing I'm doing. Just hit the link in the description, first link, join the free signal, free Telegram, and you can just explore the setups we take. And you can just see how, how we do shit. See how we do shit. So since we're on GJ, the reason we're not touching GJ is because we're in reversal territory. I'm about to cut you to the chat in a little bit. Y'all make sure to like the live and subscribe. We're almost at 4,700 subscribers. We can get to that easily today. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Dropped a new video for y'all on Monday. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today as well. All right. So again, GJ's in reversal territory. That's why we're not touching it. We might touch it tomorrow and Friday. But as of right now, we're not touching GJ because, again, we don't take reversals. We strictly and only go for A+ setups. Strictly and only go for A+ setups. So, again, gold is the only one that actually did a move we was looking for. But it's all good. It's all good. We're still up for the week. And we still got New York session to find a setup. So, I'm going to be focusing on NAS and GU New York session, it seems. Might still look for a gold setup, but... Gold's the only one that didn't move so far. All right, so let me see what y'all talking about in the chat, y'all. Again, if you have any questions, drop in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop in the chat. Let me see what y'all talking about. Let me see what y'all talking about. Nice one. I don't trade candlestick patterns. You're lucky I can't pull out the playbook right now, because I'd pull out the playbook right now, but I'm not at my desk, so I'd be doxing everybody if I was to switch Telegram tabs. But I do not trade. If you noticed, this whole time, I have not said any trading lingo. The reason why I said fake out liquidity grabs is because that's what people always like to blame for why they get their stop loss hit. But if you watch any of my videos, any of my live streams, you never hear me talking about SMTs, the rising triangles, angry trapezoids. You never hear me talk about none of this shit, because all that shit does not matter. Only thing that matters is what I was talking about this whole live stream, which is market structure and the trend. That's the only thing that matters. All the other shit is just dumb shit. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's just dumb shit to make you think, oh damn, trading is like college. I need to study, and I need to learn all these terminology. Or this guy must know what he's talking about because he's saying a bunch of shit I don't even know what he's saying. So now it's justified to pay $3K for his course because he's got 5 computer screens behind him and he's saying shit that I don't understand. All that shit does not matter, I promise you. I've been trading since 2022 using the same exact strategy. I don't watch any news events. I don't look at any Twitter posts. I don't trade based off, all this other shit people talk about. All I do is just trade off market structure and support resistance. That's all you need. That's all you need. So GU is still kind of struggling to hold this level of support right here. So it's gonna be interesting to see what GU and NAS does today. It's gonna be real interesting to see what GU and NAS does today. Let's see what else we got going on, y'all. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer. You enter that 50.57. What was your stop loss? So was your stop loss 50.46, right? So when y'all talk about trades, just make it simpler on my part. Just say, okay, like we can still talk about a chart and stuff like that, but it'd be like, okay, this is my entry, this was my SL, this was my TP. So I'm gonna assume your SL was 50.46. Let me know if that's correct. Because you said you entered at 50.57. Which would have been right here. So your entry wasn't terrible. It just, you have to wait for price to hold at support. You have to wait for price to hold at support. Okay, because you got a similar entry as I would have took. But this goes back to what I was just talking about. You have to wait for price to turn a resistance level into support if you're looking for buys. You have to wait for price to turn a resistance, a support level into resistance if you're looking for sells. You cannot break out trade, okay? You have to wait for the break and retest. But then you said your SL was, okay, your SL was 50.46. You said you entered the trade at what time? You said you entered the trade at 4 o'clock, which would have been right here. So you entered too early anyways, because you said your entry was at 50.57, but you said you took the trade at 4 o'clock. So unless you're talking about like you took it at 4:30, because price did not hit that price at 4 o'clock. So you must have took the trade too early. Because if you would have entered at that price, and you're saying your stop loss was 46, you wouldn't have got wicked out. At 4 o'clock, that is, because this is 46 right here. Matter of fact, let me just do this. Make my life easier. I mean, I could do it another way too, but we're here now, so it is what it is. Yeah, so if you entered at 4 o'clock, you didn't enter at 50. Wait, what you said? Wait, you said 57. Yeah, 57 is right here. So you entered before it hit the level. Am I correct? Did you enter before it hit your level? You said I entered at 50.57. I stopped at the key zone 50.46 because that's what right now on my paper count I'm up. So did you close early? So was your stop loss 50.46, or did you just close at 50.46? What was your initial stop loss? This is important. All right, that's why I keep on asking these questions, because this shit's important. Like, I can't fully help y'all. I'm not just talking to you, right? I'm talking to everybody. I can't help y'all fully unless I get all the information. And we can see NAS going as projected. Again, I didn't take the setup. Shout out to those that did take the sell setup. Again, this is why we enter next off these levels. Lookout price tapped that level and now it's rejecting. Shout out to those that took that setup. So again, did you close early, or was this your initial stop loss? Because again, 4 o'clock is right here, so you couldn't have entered. That's what I'm saying. Like something not adding up on my part, unless I'm missing something. What was your stop loss? So when you take a trade, you see how I have my buy. Well, this isn't my buy setup. This is your buy setup. But you see how I have my buy setup here. I have my buy setup here. You see how with NAS100, I had my sell setup here. You see how my entry, my TPs, and my SL already predetermined. You need to do the exact same thing, and you need to not take the trade until it meets. I need to grab my charger. I'm over here talking. I need to grab my charger. Hold on. I'm over here teaching and shit. My computer on like 15%. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. I'm glad I peeped that, because y'all would have been like, where the hell Way go? Alright, cool. We back in business. We back in business. But you have to, okay, watch my live streams, right? So, yeah, I gotta watch my live streams. So, watch this live stream. So go to the first link in the description, free signal, free Telegram. Go to February 5th. Watch this live stream. You'll see me enter this trade live. All right. Also, watch these 2 videos. Go to February 5th. Watch these 2 videos. Okay. Go to February 3rd. We took this gold and GJ setup live. Watch this live stream, okay? Watch my trade breakdowns on YouTube. Just dropped one for y'all on Monday. Got a new one dropping for y'all today. Watch my trade breakdowns. Watch how I wait for price to come to me. Watch how I wait for my confirmations. Watch how I ignore other price movements that aren't following my rules. That is how you need to be on the markets as well. All right, that's how you need to be on the markets as well. Okay, and we're on YouTube, so I went too quick. Just double tap a couple times. Watch those videos though. Let's see what else we got going on. What's going on, new to trades? What's going on, new to trades? I see you up in here. I'm glad you're still in profit, but if you take a trade, unless you accidentally enter the trade, you need to just take the trade. You feel me? Every trade you take should make sense. Every trade you take should follow your rules. Every trade you take, you should have full confidence in. If all those checks aren't next to the box, don't take the setup. You see what I'm saying? Because again, losses are a part of the game. I talked about this in the TikTok live yesterday. You're not going to avoid losses. Losses are part of the game. Right? We look at last week. We took five wins, right? But we still took a loss. You see what I'm saying? We go to the week prior. We took 4 wins, but we still took a loss. You see what I'm saying? We go to last month. We took 20 wins, but we still took 3 losses. You see, so losses are a part of the game. The goal is not to never lose. The goal is not to be scared of losing. The goal is to make sure you win more than you lose, excuse me, and make sure your winners are bigger than your losers. That is the goal. And look at how gold is reacting to this level. Look how gold reacted to this level. Look how gold reacted to this level. This is exactly why we mark off these key price levels. Right, so while everybody else is getting shocked or surprised when a rejection or push happens, we already were prepared for the next push or rejection simply by having these levels marked off ahead of time. I don't trade 3-minute time frame. I do not trade 3-minute time frame, so I will not go into 3-minute. I do not go past the 5-minute. And I wouldn't recommend taking a setup right now because we have news at 8:30. Okay. I tell y'all to take a trade before news or take a trade after news. All right. So unless this is your first time in here, shout out to y'all that's the first time in here. I recommend if we have, let's say we have news at 8:30, right? 6 o'clock's your deadline. After 6 o'clock, if you did not take a setup, wait for the news to play out, then look for a setup at 9 o'clock, 9:30. Okay? The reason why people get fucked up on the news is because they don't understand how the news works. They don't understand the flow of price. They don't understand the flow of price we're currently in. And on top of that, there's a few other reasons too, but you know, like I said, I watched the How to Trade News playlist or Become a Playmaker because we're going to be live later on today during this news event, and we're going to break this stuff down. We're going to break this stuff down. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, y'all. If y'all got any questions, drop in the chat, and I got y'all. We're going to be on for a little bit longer. And again, look how NAS tapped that level again. Look at how it tapped that level and rejected. Again, this is why we have these levels marked off. Right? It's not a coincidence that it tapped that level and rejected again. But again, as far as GU, I am only looking for buys if we can maintain 3,700 as support. If we can hold 3,700 as support, I'm going to be looking for buys going to 3,725. I'm only looking for sells. All right. I'm only looking for sells if we break below and maintain 36.45 as resistance. If we hold 36.45 as resistance, we're looking for sells going down to 36.20. Now, if you don't understand why that is the case, rewind to the beginning of the live stream because I broke all this shit down. All right. But again, you see my buy idea, you see my sell idea. I am not looking for anything here. I'm only looking for something here and something here. And again, I do not go past the 5-minute time frame. All right. I do not go past the 5-minute time frame, or smaller than the 5-minute time frame, I should say. I got some good questions today, though. Maybe I should start doing some New York lives on YouTube. I don't know. We might do that as well. I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying new things out. I'm experimenting. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what we'll do in the future, y'all? Who knows what we'll do in the future? Whenever I call out a trade live, do you call out your trade as well, or do you just take your trades and then say you took the trade? So exactly what I'm doing right now is the same thing I do every day. So again, click the first link in the description. Okay? Click the first link in the description. Watch February 3rd's live stream. Click that link. Okay? Watch February 5th's live stream. Click that link. Watch yesterday's live stream. And you'll see how I do things when I take trades live. Alright? But as you see, I'm also telling y'all literally the prices I'm looking for. So y'all have to do, and don't take it personal, I'm just a blunt person. I hate have to say that, but I have to say that because the way the fucking internet is. But anyways, I literally tell y'all the prices. So if you're not taking signals with me, all you have to do is pay attention to the prices I'm telling y'all. So even if I didn't tell y'all when I'm live, when I took a trade live, I'm literally telling y'all the prices I'm looking for. You see what I'm saying? So you just have to pay attention to what I'm talking about. Or, like I said, become a playmaker so you can have shit on easy mode and get notified when I take shit. But I literally tell y'all what I'm looking for, just like in the Sunday chart analysis. That's why every time I do the recap of the week, what do I say at the end of every week recap of the week? A lot of setups when that's projected from the Sunday chart analysis London session lives. If you are not watching and tuning in, you are missing out. That is why I always purposely respond to the Sunday chart analysis, because I'm trying to get y'all motherfuckers to watch this shit. Right? I'm telling y'all, I am not so bored with my life that I just make videos or messages for kicks and giggles. I'm never going to be making small talk in the Telegram channels, in the group chat, even on my TikTok or Instagram. Every post, every comment, every message is information. It's giving y'all a game. Y'all just have to read it and catch it. Y'all just have to show up. You see what I'm saying? Just like when I do the recap of the day. What do I say all the time on the recap of the day? We broke this trade down as well as other setups that went as projected in today's live. Watch the full stream here. Yet, if you look at the views versus the subscribers, look at the people in here versus the views and subscribers, you can still see that folks are not watching this shit. Again, if you're not showing up to the free classes, you're not showing up to the paid classes, you're going to continue to struggle with trading, right? You have to show up, continue to ask questions like you're asking questions, and again, pay attention to what I'm saying. I promise you, I'm not just doing things for kicks and giggles or to sound smart. Everything I show you on the screen, everything I say is information that I'm giving y'all. All right. I know some of y'all are new here. That's why I'm like making it clear and breaking it down, because I need y'all to understand. Again, I'm not like these other people. All right. I'm very serious with this shit, and I don't waste time. All right. So I do let y'all know when I take trades live, but I also tell y'all exactly what my game plan is. Because just because I'm looking for a buy setup here or a sell setup here doesn't mean it's going to do the buy or sell setup right now. It could do it later on in the New York session. It could do it an hour from now. It could do it never, right? So it's your job as a trader to know what your game plan is for the day and then wait to see if your confirmations are going to be met or not met, right? And that's why I tell y'all on the TikTok lives all the time. That's why in these lives you always hear me say, I'm just chilling, patiently waiting. Chilling, patiently waiting. That's why we got the chill music playing in the background, because that's literally what we're doing. We know what the game plan is for the day. So now we just got to patiently wait for price to show us if it's going to do the move or not do the move. You said, so JD, are you in the advanced play signal room? Yes or no? Because if you're in the signal room, it's going to be a little bit simpler for you. So let me know if you're in the signal room, JD. Are you the one that just joined yesterday? Let me know if you're in the signal room. Because if you're in the signal room, we're going to be going live at 8:30. So if you're free at 8:30, hop on the Zoom call with the members, okay? Hop on the Zoom call with the members and we'll break the shit down. All right. And if you do miss the live, they're always recorded. So, but if you can tune in, tune in. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. I want your Telegram channel. I don't have a WhatsApp group. You want my Telegram channel? Click the links in the description. First link's to free signal, free Telegram. Or like you see right here, where I said become a playmaker today, right above you and JD's comment, you click that link to join the Advanced Play Signal Room. But if you want to join the free Signal Free Telegram, it's first link in the description. It's first link in the description. And those that have joined the live late, I highly recommend rewinding to the beginning of the live, because we had some good questions asked and we broke down a lot of good information here. Are you going to be able to come into the 8:30 live, JD? Let me know if you're going to be in the live. Let me know if you're going to be in the live. How to get into the Signal Room. How to get into the Signal Room, you either click the link in the description, or if you're in a free Signal Room, free Telegram, anytime you see this beacons link, or sometimes link fly, they click the beacons link. Once you click that beacons link, it's going to pop up like this. All right. If you're brand new to trading, join the free trading crash course. Free Signal, free Telegram is the second link, which is this. Okay. YouTube, obviously we're on YouTube. Advanced Play Signal Room right here. All right. Then also you get signals when you do one-on-one sessions. So a one-on-one session, you get access to the Signal Room, you get access to the daily signals, chart analysis, the weekly New York news lives, the group chat, as well as you get one session a week. Each session is an hour long, recorded sent to you same day. Those recordings are yours to keep for life. And then of course there's Playmaker University, where you get the price action technical analysis playbook as well as my other books for free, and you get my full strategy in video format as well as some other things. All right, but Advanced Play Signal Room is where you get the signals, or like I said, one-on-one sessions, you get the signals as well. So either Advanced Play Signal Rooms or one-on-one sessions. Now I only have 2 slots left. There was just 1 slot, but somebody dropped off. They don't need me no more. They're like, look bro, I got this shit now, I appreciate it, I'm going to do my own thing. So now there's 2 slots available in one-on-one sessions. Advanced Play Signal Room, anybody can join, right? Because you just taking my trades. But that's how you join the Advanced Play Signal Room. So again, click in the comments where I said become a playmaker, go to the link in the description, hit the first link, join the free Signal for Telegram, and then anytime you see the beacons link, click that. Again, if you're brand new to trading, click the first link to join the free trading crash course. Second link is the free Signal for Telegram, which is this right here. And then again, Advanced Play Signal for signals, one-on-one sessions. Again, read this stuff too, because some of y'all be asking me questions. Like, I don't mind answering questions, but some of y'all be asking me questions and the answer be right in front of y'all. Like, some of y'all be like, what does this come with? I'm like, did you read the details? Like, what we were talking about? Or sometimes you'll be like, how much does this stuff cost? I'm like, I gotta click the links. Like, I promise y'all, the answer is closer than y'all think. All right. But I'm about to cut you to the chat, y'all, and then we're probably gonna wrap this up. Like I said, I'm going to be going live in about an hour with the members and students. And we're going to be breaking some stuff down as well as seeing how the news plays out. But let me see what else we got going on here. And also, y'all, if y'all have questions, you know what I'm saying? If you want to tell me what's up, you can tell me what's up. But if you know you have a question, ask your question too, just for efficiency reasons, right? Because sometimes I'm not going to answer you directly, immediately. Sometimes it might be an hour, sometimes it might be the next day, sometimes it might be 4 hours. So if you know you got a question, you can still say what's up, you know what I'm saying? But don't just be like, hey, and that's say what's up or how can I help you, and then you ask your question. Ask your question too, right? Say hey, comma, ask your question, right? Like I promise you, if you just hit me up with questions, I'm not gonna be like, damn, this motherfucker's rude. They didn't even ask me how my day's going. I promise you, I'm not gonna take it personal. I am here to help y'all out, but I get tons of messages every single day. So again, to make my life easier and your life easier, you know what I'm saying? Let's get straight to it. Let's get straight to it. But let me see what else y'all talking about. Let me see what else y'all talking about. Yes, the advanced plays is different. Yes, yes, yes. The free signal for Telegram is what you see right here. You get notified when I'm live on YouTube and TikTok. You get to see me live on YouTube every day. You get to see the student results and testimonials. You get the weekly analysis. The signal room, you actually get signals. You get updated throughout the day when my levels get hit. You get, like it says right here, daily analysis, the group chat, exclusive New York News lives, and more. So it is different. That's why it costs. You know what I'm saying? This is free for a reason. That's why this costs. And if you watch the last 3.5 minutes of any of my YouTube videos, I go over the details and take y'all behind the scenes and show you how everything works. What's going on, Regina? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Almost? You're new? That's what's up. Well, I remember you, Regina. Like I said, I'm good with names. I wasn't good at names before, right? Like back in the day, I used to be terrible with names. Like I remember in school or even at work when I used to work, I'd see these same motherfuckers for 3 months straight. And I would still not know their name. I remember I used to not know my teachers' names, my managers' names, but I knew your face. I knew who you was. Don't get it fucked up. I just didn't know who the fuck you was. You feel me? But like when it comes to like my community stuff, I've been remembering names and faces. That's why I be laughing like when people come, like maybe a few months later and think I don't remember them. They're trying to act like they just hit me up for the first time. I'm like, no, I remember who you are. You know what I'm saying? So I know who you are. What's up with you? What's up with you? So again, we usually aren't live at this time. Okay, we're usually live London session. That's why I see a lot of new faces and voices in the chat, because y'all be sleep when we be on the charts. Right now y'all getting up for work or you're about to get on the charts for New York session. But again, like I said right here, this is the only reason why we didn't go live at 3 a.m. because I woke up, was doing my pre-market analysis, and I was like, ain't shit gonna be going on today as far as London session is concerned. So instead of having y'all watch paint dry, you know what I'm saying, I just went live later. We're still technically watching paint dry, but we have a lot of good questions today. So, it wasn't just us staring at the charts. We had to get a lot of good questions. And again, this is why I do not breakout trade, because what would have happened if you would have FOMO'd and let's say, oh damn, I missed this setup, I'm gonna go for a buy here. You would have took a loss simply because you didn't wait for the break and retest. Again, always wait for the break and retest. And also look at how price hit my level and rejected. If y'all don't understand, it's called the playbook for a reason. If y'all do not click that link in the description and sign up for 101 Session or Playmaker University, I don't know what y'all are doing. Y'all are seeing this shit play out in real time, how price reacts to my levels. So again, while everybody else is like, oh my God, look at the buyers and sellers magically taking over, we have these levels already marked off and we're already prepared for the next push or the next rejection. Y'all saw how price reacted to this level. You see how price is reacting to this level. I'm telling y'all, this shit works in real time. So all the haters that are in the shadows that love to come onto my TikTok lives, but oh, you're on bar replay, show us something in real time. This is real time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling y'all, this shit works. Obviously, we're not in this setup though. I'm not taking a trade till after the news. Yeah, Regina, so we're usually live on YouTube 3 a.m. EST London session. And then we're live at least 3 times a week on TikTok around 2 o'clock EST. So definitely rewind this live, y'all, and watch from the beginning if y'all was, late to the party. Because we had a lot of good questions asked, and we broke down a lot of stuff for today, as well as a lot of good information. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer. If y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at these charts, drop them in the chat. This is the best time to ask me questions because we're on the charts and you got me in real time. Look at that rejection right there, y'all. Nasty work. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all. If y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. When we look at these charts, drop in the chat. I'm about to cut you to the chat in a second. Let's see what y'all talking about. No, I'm not in gold right now. So again, with news days, I don't trade right before news, right? So for example, today we have news at 8:30. So my rule is, that's why I was live London session, or was going to go live London session, but then I saw there was going to be no setups. But my rule is, if it's like, for example, if it's an 8:30 news like today, I'm gonna trade up until 6 a.m. If I don't see any setups before 6 a.m. or take any setups before 6 a.m., I'm going to wait till after the news. And in this case, I'm gonna wait for 9 o'clock, 9:30. The reason why people talk about news is scary is because they don't understand how the news works. They don't understand how market structure works. They don't understand price action. And they do all this dumb shit like trying to full port or trying to catch the volume, but not understand how the volume works. All right, so I take trades before news or after news. I hold trades during news as well, but it depends, right? So like, for example, yesterday with gold, if y'all was in the live stream yesterday, we took gold trades live before the news. We hit a few TPs before the news, right? We took this trade London session, Continental Willow 1-to-1, and then we got wicked out right before the news, as you can see, 7:30. But then when 8:30 popped off, you can see it went right back to our entry, and I re-entered on. It still should be on my story, right? I posted on my TikTok and Instagram story. So if you're not following me on Instagram and TikTok, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You should see it scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram playmaker_way, TikTok _playmakerway_. So it should be there for the next couple hours. If you're watching this and it's past 8 o'clock, it's probably gonna be gone, okay? But it should be still there right now. And you'll hear me talk about how I took the trade on the 8:30 candlestick, right? But that's because, again, I kind of understand how the markets work. So I would not recommend taking a trade till after the news plays out. Let's see what we got going on here. Why doesn't the advanced signal come with Playmaker University? But it comes with a one-on-one session. Playmaker University is 500, but the other one's only 200. Just trying to get some clarity. So they don't come together. Again, it is separate. Here's the tiers. Advanced Play Signal Room. You get the signals, the chart analysis, the group chat, and the lives. That's why it's the cheapest, right? Because if you click the Advanced Play Signal Room, you'll see that's cheaper than the one-on-one sessions and Playmaker University, right? That's why it's like this. Cheapest to most expensive, right? That's why this is cheaper than this, because this, you just get the signals. This, like it says right here, you can earn while you learn. So instead of just me fishing for you and handing you the fish, say here, dig in, you can learn my strategy as well as take signals, okay? And it's a monthly subscription. You get 4 sessions a month. Playmaker University, like it says right here, is lifetime. This is monthly, this is monthly. This is lifetime, okay? This, you get my books for free, you get my full strategy and video format, you get a bunch of cheat sheets in the channel, you get access to the group chat, you get the daily analysis, you get the chart updates, you learn how to mark off my key price levels, and you get access to the weekly news lives. So this is if you're trying to learn everything and start trading on your own. This is for if you just want to copy my signals. This is for if you can't afford Playmaker University, but you still want to learn, you can do this, right? But if you're trying to learn, this will be cheaper long term, because again, most people do one-on-one sessions for like 3 to 6 months. So again, 200 times 3, 200 times 6 versus the one-time payment is a lot cheaper, right? But again, that's why I say you got to read this stuff so you understand how the shit works, right? And again, you watch the last 3.5 minutes in my YouTube videos, I take you behind the scenes. So again, this is why I have it this way structured. Cheapest to most expensive. Signals, education is signals, full education. You see what I'm saying? No, it does not include the signal room. The signals are separate. So with Playmaker University, if you notice, right, you get the. I wish I could show you, but I'll show you more tomorrow because I'm not at my desk right now. I'm just at my laptop. But the Playmaker University does not come with signals. It comes with daily analysis and setups. It comes with the trade ideas. It comes with my full strategy. It does not come with signals. Signals is a completely different thing. All right, signals is a completely different thing. All right, that's why I purposely didn't say signals. Like I'll tell you, I'm very intentional with everything I do. If it came with signals, I would have said it in here, right? But it does not come with signals. Signals is a completely different thing. Because if you join Playmaker University, I'm assuming you join this because you want to learn how to do this stuff on your own, right? So to avoid you from, you know, still trying to do things the way I'm doing it. This is for if you're trying to learn how to do this stuff on your own, right? The Signal Room is if you want to take my trades, or if you don't want to learn, you just want to take my trades, right? So some people are just strictly in Playmaker University. I have some people that are in Playmaker University and take signals. And I also have some people that aren't in Playmaker University and they just do one-on-one sessions, so they get the weekly sessions as well as the signals, right? But if we scroll, there's also a yearly and lifetime events by signals. So I have some people that literally since 2022 and 2023 have not paid for any signals because they bought the lifetime signals, right? So these are a lot cheaper long-term as well than just paying monthly, all right? I might push them up a little bit higher, but again, explore the link and you'll kind of understand how stuff works. But no, the signals is a completely separate thing. Signals is completely separate. All right, now I just broke back down below here. Trying to make sure I don't miss any comments, but like I said, we're about to go live with the members. So new to trades, if you're free, we're going to be going live. I don't know if you saw the notification, but we're going to be going live at 8:30. All right, so make sure to join that live so we can break some stuff down. We're going to be going live with the members at 8:30. And if you can't join the live will be recorded and posted in y'all's channels. Nah, you're good. You're good. Nope. Because think about it, right? If it came with all that shit, it would be a lot more. Again, I'm not trying to be these people that charge y'all an arm and a leg, but at the same time, that would be way too cheap if it came with lifetime signals, lifetime analysis, my full strategy, and all my books for one price. And you get all that shit for life. That'd be crazy work. You see what I'm saying? Again, I'm still running a business here, but at the same time, I've been in similar situations y'all were in, where I was like, okay, I do not have the bread to pay somebody $3K for a course just for them to not to teach me shit. That's why after I learned all this shit on my own, that's why I made it affordable for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you look at everybody else, they always charging 1K, 2K, 3K, and all this other dumb shit. That's why my shit's affordable. I won't say cheap, but it's affordable for everybody. Because again, at the end of the day, this is investing. If you purchase any of these subscriptions or any of these programs, you will get your return on your investment. If you show up and follow the rules. Again, if you show up and follow the rules, it's not just, okay, I pay you and all your knowledge is going to pour into me. No, you still got to show up and put in the work. You see what I'm saying? You still got to show up and put in the work. Now, if y'all want me to do one that's a bundle, I can, but it's not going to be the same price. Because again, that's crazy. Because you got to think about it. We aren't just winning every other trade. We have a high win rate strategy. So you would be making a shit ton of money. And again, the math wouldn't make sense, right? So if y'all want me to do a package where you get signals lifetime, Playmaker University lifetime, I can. But just know it won't be this price, right? So I could add an extra slot where you get everything, but it won't be for this price, right? Because again, you got to think about it. We literally we're 2-0 this week. We went 5-1 last week. We went 20-3 last month. And then for the entirety of 2025, we took 232 wins, 30 losses, against an 85% win rate, right? And we've been averaging a high 80, high 90% win rate on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis since 2022. Right. So again, it'll be different. It was like these other traders that have a 30% win rate, but no, we actually be hitting trades. Right. So again, the math would not be mathing if that was the case. So I can understand the confusion, but hopefully this clarifies things. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully this clarifies things. All right, so I'm about to hop off here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any comments, because I know some of y'all be mid-typing. But again, if you do have any other questions, y'all can DM me on Instagram, Telegram, or TikTok. I respond to all messages. Members, we're going to be back live in about an hour, less than an hour, because it's 7:36 already. So we're going to be live at 8:30 during the news. Bring y'all's questions, bring y'all's notebooks. We're going to be breaking the trades down from this week. We're going to be breaking down the news, and we're going to be answering questions. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday and Monday. Got another video lined up for y'all today. Make sure to be on the lookout for that. And we should be live later on today on TikTok. We should be live later on today on TikTok. So I need to have TradingView open my trailer. Yep. I do all my analysis on TradingView, and then I'm at my laptop right now, so I'm using my app on my phone, but usually I have on my other screen my brokers, but you can also have the app, you know what I'm saying? Because I have the app on my phone as well. I have TradingView on my phone, I have my broker apps on my phone, and I also use TradingView on my computer, my brokers on my computer. So again, y'all, if y'all are brand new to trading, click that link in the description. Click the first link in the description, join the free signal, free Telegram. Click the link in the description or the first beacons link you see. When you click that link, this will pop up. When this pops up, if you're brand new to trading, join the free trading crash course. If you're not in the free signal, free Telegram, click that second link, join the free signal, free Telegram. It should work here. Again, TikTok be blocking shit. That's why I don't be working with TikTok. But on Instagram it works, and on YouTube it works, okay? But again, y'all have some good questions. So if y'all was late to the party, I highly recommend rewinding to the beginning because we had a lot of good questions asked today. And we broke down basically the game plan for today as well. So make sure to watch the full stream. All right. Shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody who's been live since the beginning. Shout out to everybody who's been live since y'all joined. We'll be back at it tomorrow's London session for sure tomorrow. Unless the markets are dead as hell again, but we're probably going to go live London session tomorrow. We should be live London session. Yeah, we're going to go live London session tomorrow. All right, y'all. But yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. Peace, we out. Peace, we out. Again, members, we're going to be going live. Make sure to be on the lookout for